if you put Kaepernick in the perfect situation and get him the players that he needs, that's why he was so good, because when he can run, people are afraid he's going to run. When he can throw,
defense would bail out any mistakes.
Right. So I think Minnesota is a really good place for him. The next, Cleveland Browns. Obvious.
Yeah. What are
their quarterbacks are Cody Kessler.
They just came out with a slogan for Osweiler. It's like, for those about to Brock, we salute you, or something.
That's
like
great.
That.
They have Cody
terrible,
Kessler, who's
hilarious.
projected starter. Then they have Brock Osweiler, who's their projected number 2, and then Deshaun Kaiser, who they actually expect to take over the number 2 spot and possibly jump into number 1 by the end of this season. I don't know about that, but whatever. I'm not.
But Cap would start over anyway.
Cap would start over any of them. The Jets.
Yeah, I
Jets.
don't want him for purely football reasons, and that is because I either want to be good or I want to be bad. I do not want to be in the middle in league mediocrity, and he would probably get us more wins than any of our quarterbacks on the roster. And
but here's
want to be bad.
Wait a second.
I want that franchise quarterback.
My question for you.
That's the best argument
Go with the
Kaepernick
draft
I've heard. Yes.
If he gets you 6 or 7 wins with that roster,
then he's the second coming of Jesus.
You don't need to get one of those franchise
If you
quarterbacks.
can get 6 to 7 wins with the Jets' current roster, then I think you're going to get a statue outside of MetLife made
I told
of
you he could resurrect his career.
That will last the first Giants.
I will bring lepers to him and see if he can heal them, if that is what he can do.
So the next team, I actually have a question before I reveal who it was. How long do you think Colin Kaepernick has playing ability left? He's still somewhat fresh. He's 29 years old.
He's still in his late 20s.
He's 29 years old. He doesn't take many hits.
To get his crap together, I can say that, right?
I mean, technically we are what's it called?
PG.
No, we're not PG. We're
clearly not anymore.
PG-13.
No, we're listed as explicit. So.
All right, good.
So you don't have to feel so bad.
Sorry, but
if he can get his crap together.
if he can get his crap together and start producing well, then he can resurrect and last another 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
That's what I'd say.
Next
I'd say,
question.
Yeah, 35, and then his legs will break down.
Won't be a Brady, but
How much longer do you think Phillip Rivers has playing left?
It's like a year.
that's it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Do you think he'd
He
be
does
patient?
not want to be in LA. I don't think.
Why
happy
not?
in San Diego?
Why?
No,
Because
no,
you know
oh,
how
I-
hard
okay.
it is to move 9
Wait a second. Sorry.
That took his whole paycheck for this year.
I thought you were talking about Kaepernick. LA fits perfully for Kaepernick.
Oh yeah, LA would be fine for
absolutely.
Cap.
I'd love him.
And that would open up Gurley's abilities for fantasy. I would love Cap in LA for purely for Gurley's fantasy.
Let him sit behind a pocket passer who can actually pocket pass, not Alex Smith.
Well, it looks
And
like they're
he-
getting ready to go that direction as far as moving quarterback anyway. Or why did they go out and go get
you're
Cordell
talking
Jones? Because Cordell Jones is a moving quarterback that's like Big Ben.
I think it would be good for him to be behind
You
Phillip
want him on
Rivers
the
for a
Chargers.
year.
Okay, I
Yeah.
was thinking Rams.
No, sit behind Phillip Rivers for a year.
That
Phillip-
still helped Melvin Gordon, though.
Phillip Rivers retires.
I was talking about Gurley.
Yeah.
But it would help Gordon too, who was a beast last year.
Phillip Rivers retires. Colin Kaepernick comes in.
It would
And he could be the bridge if you don't have.
You get 5
The next-
solid years, which is for a lot of people a good NFL career.
And for LA, they kind of need to establish themselves. So having a few, good years, so the fans don't reject you because they only wanted the Rams. It seems.
I also have written here. It would allow him to keep his lifestyle in parentheses hipsterish vegan free spirit.
That's true too.
So those are the 5 NFL
How is
teams.
Chicago not on there?
Because he doesn't fit in with Chicago. Chicago wants to be a ground and pound. They want to run the ball.
Everything
That
that I've seen,
They
from
want to make
Chicago
really
means
bad
they
trade
want to be
decisions.
terrible.
they want
So
to.
maybe he'll sign somewhere, and then they'll just trade a bunch of assets away from
Well,
him.
they
'Cause
want
that
to
seems
run the
be
ball.
What they want to do.
They want to run the ball, pass on 3rd and medium. Run the ball, pass on 3rd and medium. They're an old school team that's stuck in an old school system, and they're not going to be good until they embrace the quarterback option.
They figure Buffalo's a lot like that too now, even with
Well,
McCoy running the ball.
Yeah, but Buffalo
just because
has
LaShawn
more
McCoy is
actions
like
than Rams.
undeniable.
Tyrod, who's
I mean, Tyrod can do
Pretty
whatever the heck he
decent.
wants. And he can scramble out and run himself.
Oh, let's not mince
could.
words here.
Oh, they just
Tyrod Taylor would be an all-star every year if he were on the Patriots. An all-star every year.
I could be an all-star.
Yeah,
under
I'm not
Belichick.
unsure I couldn't be an all-star on the Patriots.
That
I
Castle
would be, I'd be throwing, 40 touchdowns a season if I was on the
was part
Patriots.
of the system.
And that's with your 4-game suspension.
Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't even see over the line and I could get that many.
My bonus team, and this is going to be the one that
Chuck
gets
it. They know where to go.
this is going to be the one that gets me the most hate. The Hamilton Tiger Cats. Take your talents up to the Canadian Football League.
Hey,
A lot of
Canada football is getting bigger.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with that.
They're
Kurt
highly
Warner went to
respected.
the Hall of Fame last
Exactly.
week. He came from the CFL.
And think about it. He could be, you know how like Jimmer Fredette in the NBA was terrible. He goes to China, he drops
And
like
then
72.
yeah, and then they bring him back, and he's
He could be the Jimmer Fredette of Canadian football.
I mean,
If
it's
he
a place
can't
to
get
play. I don't understand because of all the teams
Doug
you
Flutie.
listed.
Yeah.
It's all possible for him. But my concern is, yes, I agree. Like Chuckles said, that this is a race. That this issue, that his stance on race is affecting his ability to get employed. But there has to be other factors here. There
Of
has
course.
to be reasons why teams he's talking to don't want to bring him in, or
Yeah,
they
I
can't
think
come
from
to
the
an
owner's
agreement.
perspective, they're probably lowballing him a little bit because of
Oh, I'm
the.
sure.
They're worried about losing money.
side.
They want to mitigate the amount of money they would lose from endorsements and jersey sales by giving him less money on his
And
contract.
that's funny you say that because his jerseys are selling.
It depends.
If we-
It depends on the market. If you take
It is
if
a
you take him
market issue.
if you take him to Houston, he doesn't do that well.
Well,
You
no kidding.
If Colin
In Texas,
Kaepernick didn't take the knee, there would be owners out there that would
But
say,
he would
"Hey,
be
we've
fine
seen
in
him
LA
do
for
great.
that."
Hopefully, he could do great for us." But because of this, no matter how good they think he might be, or how good he will be, or how bad he'll be, they're not going to take the chance.
So let's get a little bit funny on this topic. I have compiled a list.
Possible?
Yeah, I've compiled a list of starters who've started at any point last year or will start this year, who have a lower Madden rating as of 2016 than
Alright, so
Colin
let's just
Kaepernick.
get the Jets quarterbacks out of the way. Moving on.
No, Cody Kessler. Colin Kaepernick was at a 75 to end the 2016 season.
okay, that seems fair.
That's
Cody Kessler at a 74. Brock Osweiler at 74.
That's high.
That's high. Exactly. That's overrated.
Jared Goff at 73. Josh McCown at 73.
That's high.
Blaine Gabbert at 72.
That's accurate.
Tom Savage at 72. Mike Glennon at 71. And he just got $15 million a year from the who? Chicago Bears.
He's definitely a 71. He's not a 69.
Ryan
May not even
Fitzpatrick.
be high enough for 70.
And then EJ Manuel.
Who's Fitzy with now? Is he? No, he's not back in the league, right?
I think he's still a free agent.
Yeah.
So those 1, 2, 3, 4.
Kaepernick should definitely get signed with
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Fitzpatrick is bad.
9 players who either will start or have started in a game last year have a worse Madden rating.
I think he's gonna get signed. And I don't think it's gonna be too much longer. He might be willing to take a little bit less money. A team might be willing to take the risk, but I think he's gonna get signed because that's nearly a third of the league.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a couple of them are on the same team, but
Yeah.
I have in my hands Colin Kaepernick's career stats and Jay Cutler's career stats. So let's go through this. The best that Colin Kaepernick had done in any season, I highlighted in orange. His best completion percentage was 62.4. For Jay Cutler was 66.6. Oh, 66.0. So it's a little bit higher for him. The worst for Kaepernick was 58.4. The worst for Cutler is 58.0. So that's a big difference in Cutler. Not as much of a fall off in Kaepernick. Touchdown to interceptions. It is crazy how horrible Jay Cutler is when it comes to interceptions.
I was waiting for it.
But interceptions, Colin Kaepernick himself throws quite a few. Last season, he was 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which is remarkable. But he had thrown 8 touchdowns to 5 interceptions in 2015, which is really bad. Then 19 to 10, which you always want to have at least a 2 to 1 ratio. Touchdowns to interceptions.
That's pretty
I think
close.
is fair.
Yeah.
21 to 8, a little bit better. 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, not bad. And then 0-0. Cutler, on the other hand, in 5 games, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That was last season. 21 to 11. 21 to 18.
Really bad.
19 to 12.
Bad.
19 to 14.
Really bad.
13 to 7.
Bad.
23 to 16.
Bad.
27 to 26.
Horrible.
25 to 18.
Bad.
20 to 14.
Bad.
9 to 5. So that's a total of 208 touchdowns to 146
That's how many times he came to work.
interceptions.
I know.
1, 2, 5.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Whereas Kaepernick, 72 touchdowns to 30 interceptions. The other thing that you have to look at is Cutler has played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
seasons.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11 total.
Yes, 11 seasons. But in his 11 seasons, he's only played a full season 3 times.
Yeah. Well, that's to be expected. I'm actually
Can we
surprised
limit
that's
down
high.
how many injuries were actually real?
1.
Yeah, none of them.
Like,
None on that list.
like I remember, I think, was it him? He broke his foot, and you could see, like, the cleat was, like, bent in half.
Yes, that did happen. Yeah.
Yeah, so
but there's
that's-
also a season in there where he got
A concussion.
someone's eye nail across the forehead, and he was out for weeks.
He
If
had
I'm
this
not mistaken, though, are we might be passing judgment very quickly. Isn't he diabetic?
Who?
So what?
Jay Cutler?
Yeah.
What's that have to do with it?
I'm just saying, I kind of feel bad.
Does he have low blood sugar and they can't give him a freaking
Hey,
Snickers?
no, I know how hard that could be. Maybe
It's keep in mind, Jay Cutler was a guy that at one point 2 people agreed. You know what? I'll give you Jay Cutler if you give me Kyle Orton, and someone went, sounds fair.
No,
Who's the
Jay-
winner of that?
Jay just
No,
hasn't
no.
had a Snickers, It's like, Jay, you're really horrible at football.
Maybe
when you're
that's
hungry.
what's wrong. You
He's
should
like,
be down there.
"Oh,
feeding
I
him
guess I should have a Snickers."
when he's
Yeah.
playing like.
blood sugar's low. Here, have a Snickers.
So my question for you,
Fella?
Well, you have
This podcast brought to you by Snickers.
not really, we wish,
We wish.
but
Hit us up, Snickers. I love your candy.
my question for you guys, Miami Dolphins,
Diabetes.
would you take Colin Kaepernick or would you take Jay
I would
Cutler?
take Kaepernick every day of the week.
Really?
As the player,
over
yes.
Jay Cutler?
As the player, yes, but
the
as Miami,
Dolphins.
no.
Yeah.
The reason I say
Yeah.
no for Miami
Jay
is their fan
Ajayi?
base.
Yeah, he's been spotted wearing the Fidel Castro T-shirt, talking about
Right.
it, admiring.
You don't want-
It
you
would be
don't-
a good mix.
Not in Miami
but-
with a very large Cuban American population who fled Castro. They don't want to hear your quarterback talking about praise for his literacy
Well-
rate per capita.
Yeah.
Here is why I would take Jay Cutler over Colin Kaepernick.
Oh.
Listen, it's real.
It better be good.
First of all, there is already the connection between Adam Gase and Jay
Okay,
Cutler,
fine.
so that's part of
Granted,
it.
Give you that.
2,
Yeah.
the Dolphins, while they like to run, the running comes strictly from the running back. Last season, Ryan Tannehill averaged less than 3 runs a game.
And he's pretty quick.
But
Right.
Jay Cutler just doesn't like playing football. It doesn't even look like he's having.
Yeah.
but he was
He doesn't want to. Play.
I think I'd still take Cap so far. If you got other reasons, let's hear them.
In addition,
Yeah.
the offensive line that he
Okay.
will have in Miami is
Yeah.
much better than any offensive line he's had since the 2007 Broncos or 2008 Broncos,
Yeah.
when he had his best statistical career
was the
with
record.
4,500 yards, 282 yards per game.
What was
That's fine that his
That's
offensive
10 years ago, though.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't care that it was 10 years ago. That still doesn't change the fact that he forgets what colored jersey he's wearing every weekend. Okay?
He's
That's the
just
problem.
making passes. He just,
If I'm
just
in
forgets
if
who
I'm
he's
in
doing.
Minnesota or I'm in any of those other teams that I mentioned, I go with Colin Kaepernick without even thinking about it.
I'll be honest.